Olá, gente, boa tarde, tudo bem? Bem, já estamos chegando no nosso horário. Joyce está por aí. Joyce vai fazer a condução da apresentação?
Olá, professora, boa tarde. Olá a todos, good afternoon.
Tarde, good afternoon. Ok.
Vamos pegar aqui.
So, we are on time now. Welcome everybody to the section. It's a pleasure to me being here and conducting the discussion of this section on management accounting area. And we have the pleasure here to have Joyce that will conduct the presentation of a very interesting topic about Amazonian female entrepreneur trajectory and managerial practices. I hope all of you enjoy this section, and we also expect a lot of comments and contributions to this guy's work. Okay? And just to introduce to you how it will work in this plenary, we have 10 minutes in the first moment to the authors present the paper. And then following this, I will make my comments in around 10 minutes too. And so we have also the opportunity to the authors, a kind of replay in 5 minutes. And then we open the discussion to the broader group that are following this section by Zoom and also comment in the YouTube. Okay, so thank you and welcome everyone. And Joyce, you can start your presentation, yeah?
Hello for all. It's a pleasure to be here with Guilherme at my side. And now I'm Professor Márcia Ataide. I'm professor from Accounting Department of Federal University of Pará, and também professor at Master's and Doctoral Program in Administration at University of Amazonia. And now I'm here to present the article titled Amazonian Female Entrepreneur Trajectory and the Use of Management Practice. My co-authors are Thales Andreassi, Joyce Clea, Jorge Guilherme, and Anderson Silva. So let's start.
So, to begin this article, it is important for us to tell what entrepreneurship could bring to Brazil economy. It is a strong counter unemployment attack. So, when it's applied to Brazil, it makes a driver of economic growth. And in this sense, it's also important to point it out that woman makes part of this. So in the beginning, back in 1970s, it's when women started to enter this type of economic. And it was a result of a great feminist movement, which fought for equality gender, according to Andrade. And it makes, let me see, it makes,
so it's a great movement from women in the Amazonia.
Which started this year.
Yes.
So back then, they don't have schooling, and they also have many children. that was the role of woman in the family. But then with the feminist movement, they increased schooling years for women and lower the rate of fertility. So that's when the woman can enter this market, because they were given a better role to contribute to the family income. And it's also pointed out by Sebrae that between 2001 and 2010, the number of women entrepreneurs increased by 21%. And also the number of participant women in the entrepreneurship was 31% of all in the country. So this research is justified because it proposed to know the better reality of the Amazonian female entrepreneur in order to provide subsidies for the development of training, action, and public policies to aid the development of this woman, being consequently an important research for the entrepreneurs themselves.
Okay.
So
Amazonian culture.
So we begin with the theoretical aspects. To begin with Amazonian culture and context. So culture was ideas, behaviors, symbolizations, and behaviors of natural culture. And this is specified by Rodrigues, Liborio and Salvan, 2015. And in this particular region, there's some specific and challenging cultural context for entrepreneurs, such as diversity of races, mixture of language, connection with religion, which is very strong in this region, in the North region. And there's also in this part of Amazon, that is the largest biome in the country. So that is also added to the difficulty the woman can, não,
Entendo.
é que eles podem ver pela frente.
Yes, to see beyond.
Isso. And so the female entrepreneur. This is some specifics about them. The woman in general was seen in the past as the house. She's not the person who goes out to work to bring income, but this changed. And also, let me see. This change with the feminist movement is, and now they represent a large number of entrepreneurs in Brazil. But there's also barriers to empreender.
Yes, barriers to work.
Barriers to work, because we live in a world yet that woman was low seen, because they have so much culture from the past that they face these challenges even today, even with the cultural heritage, personal characters, and business management, because they recently increased the number of years that they spend studying. So right now, they still face these barriers to control the enterprise. And so they use this artifactual managerial accounting that is relevant for they to control the entire no, empresa.
Control the business.
To control their business. So they use this to have a better look at what's going on at the the enterprises. They use practice focus on internal and financially oriented issues. They use financial and non-financial information such as ABC, benchmarking, EVI, and balancing scorecard. So with this, they can measure profits and losses. They can make selling prices. They can see the cash flow. And so they know exactly what is happening with the business.
Yes. Okay, so I will continue with the methodological aspects. This research is a qualitative and exploratory approach realized by semi-structured interviews using an interview script. Carried out in the Pará state, Amazon region of Brazil, using a sample of 5 entrepreneurs from geographical and cultural origins, socioeconomic partners, and age, and different branches of activity. The interviews were applied personally, recorded and transcribed during the months of April and May of 2018. The contents of the transcriptions were analyzed with 8+TI, and the information obtained was grouped by a category. So the results, subjects between ages from 49 to 69. So we saw distinct cultures, origins, and ancestries, family support and encouragement. And we saw women divided by venture and opportunity to entrepreneur. All had successful financial stability in this area and in this context and in social located. All had successful financial stability, and they related Brazilian taxation and infrastructure as the main difficulties to entrepreneur. And now we saw low rate of understanding of what is entrepreneurship. So something like they do their business. In the past of years, they learn with the life, basically is it. And now we saw different opinions in the understanding and use of managerial tools. They showed characteristics such as persistence, search of opportunity, initiative, commitment, persuasion, and self-confidence, and the use of the managerial artifacts to measure the income and manage their enterprise. So it's the contest that we saw when we go to fight. As the conclusion of this research, according to the statements, we saw that the social, cultural, and economic origin of the interviews did not influence their practice. Women from different origins and different social, cultural, and economic backgrounds from the Amazonian region realized different practice, but without a standard for this and disconnected from their origins. So it was what we found, and now I can say thank you for all. Now me and Guilherme are in a great challenge because we both do not have a good English, but the challenge is concluded, and now we are happy that we finished. Thank you for all.
Okay, thank you so much, Professor Marcia, and also Guilherme for the presentation. And sorry, I didn't introduce myself in the start of this section. I'm Franciele Beck. I'm professor at FURB, University of Blumenau in the South region in Brazil. And I will share with you my screen here, my points, my comments. I hope it could improve this working process. And I invite our friends that are here present in this section to join us in the discussion also by chat, and we can discuss some points after my presentation too. So, as I said before, it's a very interesting topic. You are approaching here managerial area, managerial practices, discussion, literature, in a qualitative way. So it's very interesting, specifically for me, that I have interests in this kind of approach, qualitative approach. So I'm very happy when I read your research, and I think it has some very relevant topics, points, and also some elements that could be improved, thinking to the continuity of this research, and also looking for a publication in the future. So I hope my comments here can help you in this way. Okay, you can see my screen just to confirm. Yeah, okay, but it's not, sorry, it's not change over here. Now, just to confirm, change. Yes, okay, thank you. Okay, so in summary, it's a relevant topic. The authors are shedding light to the trajectory of Amazonian female entrepreneur as an influence of the use of management practice. So you are addressing here Amazonian culture and context, female entrepreneur literature also in some way, and artifacts of managerial accounting. So it's a qualitative research and was carried out with 5 interviews. And some points that I would like to share with you, some impressions and thoughts that I have during my reading in terms that could improve the quality of the paper. The main one, it's related to the objective and how do you construct your problem, your research problem. Okay, so I think it could be more clear what is the story of behind all this discussion, you mean? So, and maybe doing some 3 questions here, provocative questions, maybe help you to put the story in your introduction, in your article, in a way that could be more, I don't say more interesting because it is very interesting, but in a more in a way that the readings can be more clear what you want to do. Okay, what is the research setting, literature here behind all of this. So the first question, provocative question that I put here is, what does kind of elements are observed in terms of trajectory of female entrepreneur? So my suggestion here is looking, reviewing the literature about entrepreneur and what kind of individuals elements could impact in how these entrepreneurs look themselves and act in their business. And I think it could be a good guide to direct some theoretical points in this article. And doing that, the second question, it's related actually, it's be more specific about how those elements could be particularized in Amazonian region. So in several moments in the work, you stress that this is a very particular region because of this, all of these culture and elements of forest, and this give the sense of community in some ways, and so it brings some aspects of specificities. And so I think combine these elements with these particularities could be very helpful and important. And then bring this element of female entrepreneurship too, because when you can have a broad picture about the contest and about the entrepreneurial particularities and elements that you are attaching, could be more easy for the readers following you about how then the female entrepreneur in this context could have more challenges or some opportunities, by the way, too. And so these three questions, I want to kind of provoke you and to develop the introduction in this way, okay? And this is also related to another point that about what is the research, the mind research setting. So to what literature in specific you want to contribute. So this is a research about management accounting practices, and you want to tell a story about how female entrepreneurs in this specific context apply to those some practices done rather than other, or how they give importance to specific tools in management accounting. So this is the story here, and I think it's very interesting actually, but it's not so clear in this version of the manuscript what is this mind research setting, or could be also that actually you are interested on a more female or feminist gender discussion. So be more clear about what is your setting literature and how do you want to contribute to this literature in particular. So it will be very helpful, and it's I know this is a challenge when we are doing research, but it's very, very important here. And this is my suggestion. To help with this, I bring this article from Alveson and Sandenberg about generating research questions through problematization. It's very helpful, and also because they stress this discussion about what is domain theory and what is a method theory. So if your domain theory is management accounting, area management accounting theory, how could you read your data in a way to construct knowledge and contribute to this literature? So this is the difference between domain theory and method theory. So you can apply a different method theory that could help you to build this knowledge that you get from the field, as is a qualitative research, and then look to this data in a specific lens, and by this way contributing to your mind theory. So it's very helpful, this discussion here from Alveson. Okay, some example, you could use, for example, Bourdieu's theory, that it's also very used in a feminism approach. We have a lot of articles that discuss accountants, female accountants, and different discussions that are applying to Bourdieu's theory. And in some way it's related to your article too, because have some guides around field, habitus, and capital, some discussions that could help you. I'm not sure, and I'm just give some suggestion here for this work or for future works actually, but could apply because bring some elements that you are discussing in terms of context, in terms of culture. When you bring the idea of Amazonian culture, its difference and diversity, so maybe could help in this kind of perspective, okay? And so in these terms of theoretical aspects, what I want to contribute here is that be more clear about how these contextual elements can impact on entrepreneurial behavior, in particular in Amazonia region, okay? And also be more clear about what you are looking for managerial practices. So it's about how these entrepreneurial understand these practices, or how they use these practices, and how these are linked or could be impacted by the background. previous background. Okay, so if this woman has been raised in a family where she only must be at home and doing home activities and didn't have access to finance, for example, discussions, and how this kind of background could impact in how she now, as a position as entrepreneur, must lead with planning and cash flow and all these management tools and expectations in terms of run their own business. Okay, so I think it's important that this must be more clear in the theoretical aspects too. Whoa, and the time flies. Okay, so in terms of methodology, I think it could be helpful to define what kind of theoretical perspective you are following. So it's more a critical study that you are addressing the gender perspective discussion, or it's more interpretative research that you want to explore the understanding, the meanings that are building in this entrepreneur, okay, from this entrepreneur. So it's also interesting pointing this in your methodology, okay? And this relationship, this relation between the questions that you are asked and also the theoretical background that you are searching. Okay. So another suggestion here, in some parts of the article, you bring some elements of variability between the interviews, and maybe feminographic, I'm not sure in this project, but maybe in future projects could apply in terms of approach of qualitative methodology. It's a suggestion. I can give you these slides. I can send you after this slide so you can have all the references, okay? And also in terms of methodology, you can give more details about how was conducted in the field, how long took each interview, and how the ethical procedures was conducted, was formalized. Of course it was, but communicate this in the article too. And in terms of analysis, okay, maybe it's also interesting you give more details about the previous experiences of this woman. Like they worked in similar business before they start their own business, you know. So give more details about this whole background of this woman and how they start their own business in this way. You give really interesting aspects about family, supportive, not, but this kind of previous experience that they have in business in general, I didn't find this in this version, and could be very interesting too, because could approximate also these entrepreneurs with management practices. So if they have grown up in a family that has a business, a family business in the family, so maybe she has more contact with management practice too. So could be interesting. And also give more details about the business features. So it's a big, you say that are in general small companies, but in terms of number of employees, or also in terms of region context, GDP in the region, because you say that they are from different parts of Pará. So it could be interesting also give more details about this, and put this in a table could help too, because then you can compare the information more easily than doing the test. So, and the most point here that I want to bring is the idea to interplay the discussion, because now in this version it's separate in blocks basically, and then you make a final discussion in the end of analysis. but I think it would be more interesting when you interplay the discussion from the beginning, from the analysis, and then bring the evidence that you find in the field. Okay, I think it's the most important here. And then, of course, bring also the theory to support your discussion. And so this is linked with my first point, the beginning of this comments, that when you specify the theory that you are applying to analyze your data, it's first place is easier for you as a researcher, following some kind of point of ideas, and also from the reader perspective, it's easier because then you can connect how this can be discussed and supported in a theoretical perspective too. Okay, so, and you bring this discussion about entrepreneur by necessity and opportunity. I think it's a really good point, and you could explore more this in this paper, and also some aspects related to the industry sector. Okay, so why in some place it will be more easy for a female entrepreneur or not. Okay, so in this way I finalize here my comments. I want to thank you all, and sorry about the time, but I think we can use the 5 minute, a plus 5 minutes for discussion. Sorry.
Thank you, Franciele. It was so valuable contributions for us. And I have to say to you that in the beginning, we chose 3 elements: the trajectory, the context, and the managerial practice. In the trajectory of the research, we saw that we have too much elements to analyze together. So in the end, we have more than 25 pages of appointments. And now we cut it, and today you saw a lot of elements that are missing in the paper. So we have to do a new reflection about the elements and maybe reduce to only 2 elements of analyze. Because we have a lack of the main of the research. The main of the research was perdido. How can I say?
Missed.
Lost.
Yeah, lost.
Yes, missed, lost. Good. Lost, yeah. Yes.
But it's good because you have a lot of material now, so you can focus in your different directions. Actually, you could apply for different research, okay? And it's very, very good. And yeah. Sorry, Marcia, we don't have much time. I would like to make a question from our audience here, if it's okay. Can I pick some questions here? Following here the questions, I select according to the time. Sorry, could be just one probably. But Anderson Braga, its questions: could you explain the motivation for focusing on female entrepreneurs?
Yes.
Are there personality traits, specific personality traits, or other individuals' differences that are more prevalent in female than in male entrepreneurs, for example? Why is this important to you?
Yes, this research and others is in the context of my postdoctorate program in FGV with Professor Thales Andreas, who was my sponsor in this process of postdoctorate. And we decided to study female entrepreneurs because, yes, they have difference from males because they have a lot of barriers in various way. How can I say? They have a lack of business study. It's an example, and they have barriers inside home, like how can I say, they suffer with his husband and another species of discrimination, yes, about this society. So yes, studies around the world are showing that have a lot of difference, and it's the reason that, and it's loved to study the woman, because the woman are particulates that how can I say, a woman, me, I how can I say, I see me in that woman, my own difficulties in that woman. So
Great.
it's very nice.
Thank you, Professor Marcia, and also all of participants here. And we have less than minutes, and probably this section will end in previous minutes. So thank you so much for everybody, and I hope to see you again in other section. Bye bye.
Thank you for all. Thank you for the contributions, Professor.
Please, Marcia, send me your email, then I can share
Yes.
with you.
Really
You
now.
can put here. Thank you.
Hi.
Thank you. Wow, it's here.
Thank you. Thank you for all.